Hello mates, welcome back to my channel. Today, guess the name of the episode and the season when Squidward house first appearing. Yes, this is Squidward house from Spongebob Sqaurepants, the TV show in Minecraft. And guess the name, guess the episode, and guess the season. Have a guess. Think of a guess. Do you have a guess? Pause it right now. Pause it right now. Comment right now. Tell me what is the answer. Do you have it? Unpause the video. The answer is Help Wanted. Episode 1 from Season 1. Yes, that is when SpongeBob neighbor Squidward first appearing his house is Season 1 Help Wanted Episode 1. And yes, this is Squidward house. I hope you like it. So let's see how I make this. Okay, so the first thing I have to do, for me, I'm making the new bikini bottom. That means I have to count. And counting is one of the worst things to do. No, it's not. But it is really, it could be the worst thing to do. It could be the best thing to do. I don't think it could be the best thing, but it could be one of the most difficult things to do. You want to make sure your count is the best. If you miscount something, a lot of things could go wrong, and we don't want that. So for me, I'll make sure that I count. Make sure how long I want the distance between the houses is, and how long I want the distance between the actual road is. Those are the main thing I want. And also, if I want the house a bit centered or not. So looking at the actual outline I had it, I want to line up with SpongeBob house, but also match up in the size. The problem I'm having right now is it does not match up with the size. The size is actually a bit more smaller. And I do think Squidward house is a bit more smaller than SpongeBob house, but I do want them about lined up as much as I can. Right now it's not lining up, so I have to make the circle, the outline a bit more bigger. So that's what I'm doing right now. Making sure that the outline a bit more bigger and it look like an actual circle. So right now, don't think it look like an actual circle a little bit, fixing up how it is. Another thing is making the circle a little more bigger too as well. And the hardest thing for me is making sure that I stay within the distance that I wanted from how long I wanted the space between SpongeBob and Squidward, and the space to the actual road. So that's what I'm thinking about. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm making sure it's actual circle and the distance is really good. And I have to really change it up a lot. A lot. I have to change up the distance and the actual circle many times. And I'm thinking to myself, do I count the door as the actual house, or do I count the actual the wall of it? And I'm thinking about that too. And I'm thinking how long do I want the distance between the road is. That's the main thing about making anything into it. And making anything like bikini bottom. You're gonna have to really count and making sure that everything is very good and everything is good and laid out very well. If you don't really count, mistakes will most likely happen if you don't really count and making sure and checking everything. So now I like the distance between them. I like the shape of it. I'm just thinking, do I want to position my house a little bit more back of the actual door of SpongeBob house or not? So I like this. I like where it at right there. Right? I might be seeing. This is when I was making this. My controller does not want to work with me, and it was keep going up. Sometimes you could see my controller actually just going up out of nowhere. And right now you can see me just looking at the distance of the height I wanted. So I want to make sure that Squidward's house is taller than SpongeBob. And not just the actual house, but also taller than the leaf. Sometimes they are actually the same side. Either SpongeBob house is the same size, including the leaf, as the same size as Squidward house. Some is a little bit taller. Squidward house is a little bit taller than SpongeBob house, and some is a good amount distance taller than SpongeBob house. I want to make sure that it is much more taller than SpongeBob house. So I went with this distance and making sure that it's very tall and it looks taller than SpongeBob house. So that's the one thing I really want to make sure is that the house is much more bigger than SpongeBob house. And I like the distance. So, and I like the height with it too. So right now, doing the walls, and then that's the pretty much the easiest part. The walls is pretty easy. So let's talk about the color. So what color am I using for this house? So for Squidward house, this actually color I wanted to use. It's called lapis lazuli. Not a color, but that's the block. That color is for me the best color. It's that dark blue and it has the stone texture. The problem is this is cut, but that means that you can see the individual block, and I don't want to do that. With Squidward house, the stone is all in one. You don't want to see individual block, so that's the main problem. That's why I didn't go with lapis lazuli, and I didn't want to go back to cyan. I want the darker look for Squidward house. I want to make sure it's this time around. I want to go more accurate, for at least for these houses, into the actual the show. Instead of the video game, I wanted to go actually with the show, and with the show, this Squidward house is much more taller, it's much more darker, and that's pretty much it. And yeah, I want to make sure that that's happening too. Of course, the slant. This is just a really slight slant. It's not too like it is not that noticeable sometimes, but it is a slant. So make sure I do the slant too. And yeah, think of it as like 3 tiers. 1 tier, 2 tier, 3 tier. It's not tiers, it's actually levels, but it's like SpongeBob house with those different levels. So not really levels, but it's like section going up. It's like the same as this one. Oh, Squidward house. And it's pretty simple, so I'm doing it right now. And yeah, just going all the way up. So something I do want to talk about is that one thing I do want to was thinking about is the window. And the window, I wanted the window to be, or I wanted the window to be one color. I was thinking about a 2 color. So I want the inside the window, the actual window, to be light blue, and then the outside to be about cyan. Well, the problem is I didn't like the color, so I went with both light blue, like with SpongeBob house. It has a light blue glass window, and it looks pretty good. I don't mind it. I always want to have 2 different colors, but with that one does match up pretty good. So I went with it, and I want to do that with every other windows going forward, unless the window has to be a different color. So I went with the same windows, not the same windows, but the same color of windows with Squidward house. And the longest thing to do for Squidward house, for me at least, is to do the walls. The walls is pretty long. The planning could be long too. The planning and the outline could be very long, but the longest one is gonna be Squidward house. Not Squidward. Well, yes, it is Squidward house, but making the walls for Squidward house will be the longest thing to do. And with making Squidward house, it's not too much technique. I usually do the easy technique of, you can see right there going up and down the walls. But some things I do want to talk about with Squidward house. There's not too much different things I really wanted to do to Squidward house. I did experiment a lot, but with this one, it's simple. With SpongeBob house, I was missing a big thing that was the pattern of the SpongeBob house, and I want to change up the roof, right, the leaf. With Squidward, the main thing is probably the height, the shape, and the color, and that's pretty much it. I like everything else, or maybe also the nose too as well, and the eyebrows. But anything else is not that big of a difference to my last one. Not that much bigger of a difference. The only big difference is the height, the shape, and the color. I wanted to do a darker blue, so it was a dark blue. I think last time I did was cyan. This time is the darker blue. Do want to do lapis lazuli though, but yes, there we go. Yes, I do know there is all those four Squidward house and something with Spongebob house. There is a I think there is a backyard. Right. I want to do those later. I want to get the big thing out of the way, making the actual house. Oh, another thing to do for me to think about, and I wanted to do is the door. I also wanted to do the windows a bit different, but I wasn't able to. But the main thing is the door. Since it's much more bigger, the door cannot be the actual Minecraft door. I had to make my own door, and I like how it did turn out. Now I'm making the nose. The nose is about the same. It wasn't that much different, but I'm very happy how the nose does turn out. I do wish the eyebrows was a bit different. And I do say it is kind of hard to see a difference between the the eyebrow and well, just mainly the eyebrow. The eyebrow wasn't it was really hard to really see sometimes. I think I should have put it out a little more bigger, but I didn't want to put out too much out. But I do say it's kind of hard to really see the eyebrow just because it's the same color as the actual house. I would want to do a different color, but for Squidward house it has to be the same color. And you can see how right now I had the eyebrow actually curve, and I was thinking it's not bad, but I do want it to make sure that it is not curved. So later on though, I will fix it to make it not curved. The nose looks pretty good, not that bad. It's just sloping all the way up, and I showed it right there. It is sloping, going up, and yeah, it wasn't that hard to do the nose. And I'm very happy how the nose do turn out. Looks very good. Going on to do the eyes or the windows, and it was a bit difficult. I was really experimenting with the windows, seeing what I like and what I want to do. And I did take a long time to do the windows. It took me a very long time to finish the windows, but I'm still very happy how the windows did turn out. We're going back to do some of the nose. I'm gonna do some of the nose right now, and then go back to the window. I think I was fixing a problem I had with the nose and going back to the window. Doing the same thing as I did to Spongebob house with Squidward house, not the shape, but how I did it. It's a bit more different, it's a bit more difficult. Squidward house is a bit more curving than Spongebob, so I have to make sure the how it is looks pretty good. I don't mind how that looked like, but I was seeing what else could I do. So I was checking how can I make this a bit more better, a bit more different, making it a little bit more wider. First off, making it a little more wider. And the main thing when I'm trying to add more to it or adjust some things and adding on to the window or anything else is sometimes sometimes I just can't really figure out some things. So but at the end I do figure out and I got it done. So yeah, so this is not that hard to do. Squidward house is not big difference compared to Spongebob house. Spongebob is a big difference compared to Squidward house. Is very more not big difference to the one I did and to the one I'm doing right now, but it's still big, still important, and all of the things I did add to this one, it is very good. I'm very happy how this does turn out. And you can see me fixing the windows again, just seeing what I do like. So I just really focus on the windows for a very long time. For a good amount of this, I did focus on the windows, and yeah, many of the things I was just focused on this windows. The other things I do, it's not as much I've done to the windows, but I didn't like that, so I think it was just a bit too big and the actual size was pretty good, so I'm going back to the actual size that I had it before. And yeah, that is hopefully done with the windows. You can see me trying to figure out some things, and yeah, after I got it down, doing to the same thing to the other side, then the window should be done. The window should be done. It was just so complicated, but it was pretty simple. Or just was complicating some things, and very happy how the windows turned out. Now going off to do the eels. So the eels is something, right? The eels is not that hard to do. Pretty simple, but some things I was having a problem with the eels. I didn't want the eels to cove at all. I wanted to be not coving, but sometimes we just one side of the eels look bigger because the how it's sloping. One side of the eel, like the top side going up more, it's much more bigger than going down, and I didn't like that, but not to do it. I was trying to do some cool, um, trying to do some cool things, and didn't work out very well, so I just stopped. But going on to do the eyebrow real quick, and I'm happy with the eyebrow. A little bit more with the window. What I'm doing right now, instead of trying to show the cove, I'm just it's different between Spongebob house and Squidward's house. I didn't want Squidward's house to be coving too much with adding the windows or the eyebrows. I didn't want it to cove at all, so I did the same thing to the eel. I didn't want it to cove. I want to just go up to down, no coving. Same thing with the window, so I just do it at the same instead of showing the windows coving, it's just not coving no more. And yeah, but it is looking from the side. You can see the windows. Some side is bigger than the other side, but I don't really mind it. It looks pretty good. And yeah, for me, I don't really mind how some part of the eyes, the windows is going out more than the others. I didn't really mind it, so I'm keeping it. But don't worry, when the how-to do come out, you could just keep it close so you don't really show that one part of the window is going out more. But if you want to keep it how I did it right there, it's fine. But that's when we go to the how-to. That's not the how-to yet. So doing the eels just got done. Now to do the last part, the walkway. The walkway is, I was thinking about what color. I didn't want to just do, I want to do slabs. I didn't want to do into the floor, I wanted to do slabs. With the walkway, it actually is wood. It's wood. So I wanted to see if I could get the closest texture to wood. That's the closest texture, and also it is slab. I'm very happy how the walkway and everything else turned out. It looks very good. And there you have it. That is Squidward House done. The Squidward House from Spongebob Sqaurepants, the TV show in Minecraft, done. I just want to say that I'm very happy how this turned out. It looks very good. I'm very happy to the walkway, to the door, and towards everything else, to the eyebrows, windows, and the eels. Looks very good. And yeah, I'm very happy about the height. And yes, next off will be Patrick House. Yes, Patrick House will be next. I will say, it is one of the most difficult I ever done. I was about to actually give up on making Patrick House. I still made it though, but I was about to give up. But I'll make the teammates in the next time. Bye.